All right. So on the last presentation, I talked about the granulocytes. Now we're going to talk about the agranulocytes, the leukocytes, white blood cells that don't have granules. And interestingly, as I was doing this, I realized that we have these two we talk about. We have the lymphocytes and something called the monocyte. And it ends up the lymphocytes are the smallest, and the monocytes are much larger than all other leukocytes. Monocytes are like 2.5 times larger. That's one of the ways you can distinguish them when you look at them under the microscope, is they're more than twice the size of other red blood cells or leukocytes. So the lymphocytes, they're the smallest, and they look like a cell without any cytoplasm. You almost see no cytoplasm in these. All you see is the nucleus. And it ends up that these, you can't visually distinguish the two kinds of lymphocytes, but they have two different jobs, and so we're going to talk about both of them. We have the cytotoxic lymphocytes, and then we have something called a B cell or a B lymphocyte. Now, cyto means cell, and toxic means toxic. So these are the ones, these are cells that are going to go out and find a pathogen, a very specific pathogen, and they're going to get up next to it and kill it. That's their job, is to go out there and to kill the bad guys that they've been told about. So we'll come back to that here in a minute. So they've been activated to find a certain kind of pathogen and to kill it. Now, the other kind of lymphocyte is this B lymphocyte. It's a B cell. And if you think about immunity, I'm sure everyone knows there's something called antibodies out there. And antibodies are proteins that will bind to a pathogen. Again, it's something very particular. And so after the B lymphocyte is activated, it becomes another kind of a cell called a plasma cell. But it's, the idea is derived from this B cell. And it's going to secrete a very specific antibody, the antibody that helps you fight off the disease. Now, the largest, the next, so that's the lymphocytes. The largest of the leukocytes is something called a monocyte. And it's a phagocyte, and we've talked about neutrophils being phagocytic and eosinophils being phagocytic. Monocytes are going to have a very special role. Yes, they are phagocytes. They're going out and they're saying, you don't belong here. I'm going to kill you. Basically, you're not me, so you're going to die. That's what happens. So the monocytes are going around looking for stuff that doesn't belong, but then they do this remarkable thing. What they do is they're going to function as an antigen-presenting cell. Not only have they killed the thing that doesn't belong, they're going to put it in a certain location. They're going to chew it, digest it up, and they're going to take its surface antigens, the thing that it killed, and they're going to put it on a certain spot on the surface of this cell, this monocyte, which will become what we call a macrophage. It's the same thing. It's left the circulatory system. So these macrophages, monocytes, they're going to find infections, potential infections, and they're going to show them to the lymphocytes. The antigen-presenting cells go and they find a lymphocyte, and they are going to function in activating the immune response. So they have this very special function as well.